What is the process of creating all of this? I mean, from especially talking on, a certain time of the year, and then whenever that's happening, what exactly are you doing when you come out here too?
Right. So starting from the very beginning, you plant basically like kind of roots that have just been grafted off of a grapevine from somewhere else, and you get that in the ground. You're watering it and everything, but it's going to take about 3 years to really establish itself, and then probably in the 4th year you might get a good crop, but you really don't get like incredible wine until the vine's 20, 30 years old. 40, 50 is a young vine in Europe. And you end up with dieback every year. So we're
Dieback?
constantly training up. So
You said dieback?
well, I'm in Colorado, so we get hard freezes.
Okay.
And like in 2020, we lost the entire vineyard, and every vineyard in Colorado pretty much lost everything. What that means is it freezes back to the ground. The roots are still there, and then you got to train it all up. So here's a good one that honestly just went a little crazy, and we'll have to finish training this up. But essentially, this one died to the ground last year, and so it's sending up all these shoots, and we did our best to stay with it and train it back up. But ultimately, we got some long shoots. Those will get on the vine next year, and they'll produce a small amount of grapes. And then the 3rd year, they'll be fully going and producing a big amount of grapes, and hopefully stay alive for longer than that. But that's constantly happening in this vineyard. There's constantly some dying to the ground and coming back up. It's just harsh winters. Like we're the highest elevation wine region in North America, so we're kind of on the edge of stuff.
And then you said you're training them. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so training them means basically it's a vine, so it's gonna just go crazy everywhere. And so we're just training it up onto the trellis system so that it grows where we want it to grow, basically. And I'm pretty laissez-faire with the training. I think that you're going to get vineyard management from all different people, all different opinions. I mean, everyone does their own thing. I do what my dad did, I do a little bit more than what my dad did, which was he let things go. I'm a little bit more aggressive with telling the vines what to do as far as things go, but ultimately, like, they're just kind of going to do their thing because they grow so quick once they start going. So yeah, they'll start coming up from the ground, and then a few years in, you get more established ones. They start producing more grapes, but if it freezes to the ground, you lose that year of grapes from that vine. So last year we lost about a third. The year before, 2 years before, we had great crops. It's just kind of a constant cycle.
So whenever you're starting out, do you plant a lot more vines than necessary because you go in expecting that's possible, or?
So you plant what you can. You plant the space you can, right?
Yeah.
And you probably, the first couple of years, especially for us, I mean, with the cold winters, like, you're probably gonna have to go back and replant a few dead spots to really get the vineyard going. But once the vineyard's going, you're pretty much good. It's all gonna come back after a hard freeze. It's just you lose that year.
Yeah.
And then the next year you're good. So 2020, that winter, the first freeze it was 70 degrees it was like this really nice weather into late October, and then all of a sudden it dropped to 13 degrees for the first freeze of the year. And so everything above ground got zapped. So I didn't get any grapes in 2021, which was right at the beginning when I was doing this. So it was kind of scary. But then the next year we got a little bit, and then the 3rd year after that, I got the best crop I've ever had. So that's honestly what I'm currently selling, is that best crop I've ever had, the 2023 Pinot. So over time, you can spread out. I age wine for 2 years, so I have a bit of flexibility. I have time. I know what's in my cellar. I know if I need to produce more, produce less. I can only produce as much as I can from this vineyard, but I can buy grapes elsewhere to supplement, change prices, manipulate just how fast it goes out, right? But in the beginning, when it was just, I don't have anything, so I need something. And so you can buy grapes from all over the United States and still make them in a super high quality way. It's just, when you're making wine and trying to like build up what you do really well, it's got to be your vineyard. And so that's what I'm most proud of, is the Pinot Noir. I make other wines and I love them, but the Peony Lane is synonymous with Pinot Noir, and the rest of the wines I'm making in the same style. I'm making in the same way that I make them with low additives and all that. But really the sense of place is like the vineyard that you manage, and the wine you make all in one is where the magic is. So
I mean, it makes sense because you're just more connected,
yeah,
and kind of like you just on a long enough time horizon, you just really start to understand it all.
totally.
And
Yeah,
so it makes the processes
yeah.
better and more efficient.
So here's a vine that we trained up better last year. We'll go in and cut the remainder of what's come up. But these are two vines that we trained up. So one going either way. These just started up from the bottom just like this. And we just continuously cut out all this new stuff growing up to focus on these two. These two will establish. Hopefully they'll survive the winter. And they'll produce a little bit of grapes next year, and then the third year they'll be even better. Pinot Noir, you've probably seen like big stalks of wine, like big vines. Pinot Noir is very finicky. It's both finicky in the grape growing and the winemaking. Like it's very susceptible to oxidation. And then in the grape growing, it's fragile. And we're not getting these huge trunks. So like vines will last maybe 5 years, probably max. And then we're constantly retraining. So we don't wait till it's totally dead. I'll probably retrain one more new one here as a backup next year, just to kind of keep it a little bit more stabilized because we do get a decent amount of die off. But yeah, the wine that is produced is awesome, so it's worth it.